Talking about parts, I'm gonna tell you the another functions of creating parts. As I told you before in the last session in 3D view, we created some parts, but if I open the plan views, I select the element, create parts is not available, and in properties you got vault, while here in the 3D view if I select them, we got parts as you can see. So you may be wondering about this topic, that how do we get access to the parts in the plan view? What is the reason? The reason is about the parts visibility. If I specify show parts, then we can get access to the parts of the model. This was the technique or the trick that you should know while opening it and evolve parts in a plan view. But here if I click on divide parts, setting a work plane is required as you can see. I specify by picking a plane. By this way I click on the element. But except using edit sketch tool, we got another things to do here actually. I mean the alternative way here is to sketch some reference planes in the plan view and then divide the selected element based on the sketched reference planes. As you can see, you got intersecting references, which displays a list of all intersecting named references that you can use to divide the selected parts. So you can divide the parts based on the grids and the levels and also the reference planes. So let's sketch some reference planes by this way. As you can see, like this way. And then I click on intersecting references. Here if I open the list of filters, I choose reference planes. Here nothing is visible despite of sketching some reference planes in the plan view. Why they are not visible there? The reason is that, let me try again. I select the element or the wall, divide parts, intersecting references. The levels are shown, but the reference planes are not displayed. And if I show all, why the reference planes are not displayed? At first you should assign a name for these reference lines. I mean reference planes actually. So I named them 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 5 as you can see on the screen. And as you know, when we specify a name for our reference plane, they are converted to a work plane, so they should have names. Then I divide the parts based on intersecting references. Then here if I show the reference planes, check this out. We got 6 reference planes. Then I can click on check all and click on OK and then finish. Then as you can see, the wall is divided into 16 parts. Then I select some of the parts of the wall and then I exclude them, check the result, or I can select the parts and then modify the materials. But first of all I should uncheck material by original and then I open material browser. Then I can associate a new type of material like oak, check this out. And the alternative way is that to select the parts again by this way. And then I turn on the shape handles, and after that I can control the sizes, for example the thicknesses like this way, or even void by this way. And this is the result. I open plan view south. I select the reference plane and then I move it. For example, I can use rotation in relation to this point by this way, and then I place it at its new position. Well done, check this out. I rotate the reference plane in relation to the specified point and then I place it here, which it means that the design or the sketch which parts are divided based on is editable, and it allows you to work on these sketch. Let's have a review. So you can divide the parts based on the grid lines, reference planes and levels, and also the work planes. But what else? Let me sketch a floor here. After that I can use a large sketch to divide the floor into different parts. For example, I place the floor by sketching a rectangle. Then I select it. Suppose that we're at the process of the flooring. I click on create parts. It is no more visible. But why did it disappear? Let me open 3D view. Here it is. When we create parts from the selected or specified elements, since it is placed beneath the level, it is no more displayed. Let me open side view. As it was beneath the level, it was not displayed. show parts. Here, as you can see, it is visible in site plan view because levels are not considered in site plan view. So what should we do? First of all, we should test the view range. For example, in primary range bottom minus 10 millimeters, for example. Okay, so this should decrease the value of bottom offset just a little because this enables us to display the floor, the divided floor actually. As you can see, parts, which is visible in level 1 plan view. So if you created some parts based on, from your floor, possibly it would be disappeared. But if you want to solve the problem, you should adjust the view range. That, as you did see, I specified minus 10 millimeters. And here in divide parts, as you can see, I can edit the sketch, but I cancel it. But assume that I want to sketch something, a model or a geometry by using lines, by using detail lines, for example. Check this out, I select it. For example, I sketch a polygon, like this way. And then I can add more geometries, check this out, like this way. Or for example, I can connect these two by sketching a line. I'm just trying to give you some examples, there is no rule in sketching. By this way, we got some parallel line. Then I sketch an overlapping line, since I'm gonna talk about the lines which are overlapping each other. Anyway, I continue sketching, and as you can see, I'm sketching some lines freely and offhand in order to consider it as just an example. By this way, let me check it in 3D view. Right now I want to use these for flooring. I select all of the existing lines, then I choose lines in filter. I make a copy. By this way, I click on divide parts and edit a sketch, and then I paste the sketch lines in edit sketch command so that the paste lines will be considered as sketched lines. I click on finish to divide the parts. Check it out. Here is the result. As you can see, as I hold the mouse, the boundary lines are highlighted. That shows the different parts very well. So as a result, before dividing your element, first of all, you can sketch some lines in the manner you want and then make a copy from them. After that, paste them in edit sketch command and then divide them into parts. But as an assignment that I want you to do, before telling the assignment, let me give you another point, and then I will talk about the assignment. Let me sketch this wall, and then I want to assign you a homework just for practicing. Wait for a second, please. Or let me finish my instruction about the previous example, since this is a good case. So I exemplify the next case and the previous case. Here, as you can see, we have divided this element or this wall into some parts based on the reference planes that were sketched before. But in the continuation, I'm gonna show you a new thing. At this example, I wanna create some grooves on the element. After dividing the elements into different parts, we can create a groove, for example. That as we could modify the size of the parts by using shape handles by this way, as you can see, I'm gonna create some different lines. Let's see. I open the shelf plan view, and in this wall, for example, let me edit this sketch. And then right now in the edit sketch command, here we got an option named gap, for instance 5 centimeters. If I click on finish, there's a 5 centimeter gap between the two divided parts. Let me check the another geometry model or model geometry. Again in edit sketch, I define a 5 centimeter gap and then I click on finish. Actually, these are interesting options. I did better to know them. You can use this technique for facing your model or everything which is related to the outside finish of your building. But about the homework, first of all I want you to sketch a brick wall, for instance a 30 centimeter brick wall, like this way. Here it is. Actually the type does not matter, for instance you can even choose 20 centimeters. And then let me associate the material in material browser, which was brick, common, here. Watch this part carefully please. This is an effective practice that even you can use your own creativity. Let me modify the size of the bricks in fill patterns settings. I modify the value of import scale, for example 3, and then I click on OK. Very well. Let's check it out. Very well, this is better. I want you to give me a wall that each and every pieces of the bricks could be selected individually. So I want you to convert this wall by using the quickest approach to a wall that its bricks can be selected individually, so that we can modify the materials for every pieces of the bricks.